Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to listen to this month's episode of Drift Sessions. Drift Session 009 with our guest, Julian Perez. He comes from West Covina, and I'll be your host today, Jonathan Osorio. And Julian Perez, he DJs under the name of DXXP and other alias that he will be sharing throughout the interview. But first and foremost, thank you for coming out, Julian.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. Super stoked to be here.
I know, dope setup with the beautiful backdrop of the lane.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Very gorgeous.
Okay, well, I'll start off by asking you, what's your musical background?
Music's always been in my family. So when I was growing up, I had grandpas, uncles, my brother, everybody is a musician in my family. So that's kind of natural for me to follow in that footstep. But I guess my first run-in more serious would be when I turned 6. I got my first guitar, my first drum set. I still play the guitar, not so much the drums. I took a few years of bands in middle school where I learned to play the saxophone, learned how to read and stuff like that. But I definitely didn't really find my passion or something that I wanted to stick to until I kind of discovered electronic music, and then I just dove right in.
What was that?
It was probably like around... Originally, I remember listening to house music, like Daft Punk, or especially like Justice, or the Crookers and stuff back in like middle school, because that's what my brother used to listen to, so he kind of like introduced me to it, but I didn't really like dive headfirst into the whole scene until like junior, senior year. I had an ex who kind of got me into a little bit of stuff, and I kind of started going down that whole rabbit hole real quick.
And what about the DJ and producer side? When did that kick in?
So I toyed around with it a little bit in middle school. I actually remember, it's funny I remember that. I remember being in middle school and I downloaded, is it Virtual DJ?
Yeah, I got that one too, dude.
Yeah, Virtual DJ. And they used to have this like thing where you can like broadcast like a radio.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever actually set it up to broadcast, but I would just like sit there and pretend that I was broadcasting and like fuck around and DJ like different music. And my whole like concept at the time was just like, I want to like show all these people all this like underground music that they don't listen to, because I thought I was all like ahead of the curve and shit. Yeah, that's
cool.
Yeah.
Where did your name DXXP come from? When did you come up with that?
So I was actually at one of my first raves, and I met this crew, and I hadn't had a rave name yet, but I got like super close, we're all lovey-dovey, and they gave me a name. And initially they wanted to call me Deep Purple because my favorite color was purple at the time, but I didn't like that too much because there's already like a band called that, so I was like, I'll just drop the purple, I like deep. And then I wanted to be a little bit edgy, so I threw a couple X's in there. But it also just kind of has to do with like a deeper meaning, so like the word deep, it's like X'd out, but it's because you're supposed to like look for the meaning in the word, even though it's kind of cheesy.
You gotta go deep in there.
Yeah, you gotta figure out, because I've had a lot of people who like talk to me and they're like, oh really, I thought it was just DXXP, and I'm like, no, it means deep. But that just kind of goes back to the purpose of the name, so.
Cool.
Definitely cool.
What about the other alias you have?
So the other alias, I have a couple others. I have a trouble sticking one genre, but my other electronic alias is Mod618. That's a little bit of a newer project, but I just put out my first single with M31. So that's gonna be more for like my dark techno and like sort of like the more, like more techno, dark, warehouse stuff.
There we go.
Whereas I can focus deep on more of the like deep house or the more tech house, a little bit more like the vibey stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So what year was that when you started in middle school? Your whole journey, what year was that?
I don't remember when I was in high school. That was probably, I don't remember, what was that, like 09?
2009?
Probably somewhere around there, because I remember 2013 was when I got back into it, 2012, 2013. So like 4 or 5 years ahead of that, somewhere around there. 09 probably-ish, yeah. That's when I used to listen to back Justice. Whenever that Justice album came out.
Probably 09, the We're Your Friends?
Cross, yeah. No, Cross. Maybe I was just listening to it late. Somewhere around there, like my 7th, 8th grade year.
So that's been 10 years now, 2009, 2019?
Way to make me feel old. Yeah, it's been a decade, yeah.
So how, dude, I don't shoot into my age, but how from 2009 to 2019, this spark of this whole music inside you, where has that taken you? Because I know you do like video editing too and some graphic design. So it shot you from instrument, from a guitar, to DJing and producing to a whole different set of industries.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about music is I've always known I've wanted to do music when I was a kid. It's, you know, I remember being in the back room, like playing guitar, wanting to be a rock star. But as I grew older, like I got interested in everything else from, you know, recording, you know, vocalist or guitar or whatever, to like the engineering, producing for like singers, to like, you know, more recently I've been getting into like photo and video work, but more specifically in like the music industry. I actually just launched like my first label with my friend Mike. He was actually on the episode a couple episodes ago.
Mike Logic.
Yeah, it's a big industry. There's like a lot happening, you know, and I definitely have trouble sticking to one thing, so I kind of just hop around all over the place, you know.
So what have you learned about yourself through this whole place, like this whole time of going for it, you know, working, going to school, whatever you do, and relationships?
Yeah, you know? it's hard, dude. One of the things about this industry is really any creative industry or really anything that's really that like competitive. At the end of the day, like if you're serious about it, like you got to make sacrifices, and that's something that really can affect every other aspect of your life. You know, it's all about prioritizing. So for me, like, it's my number one priority to make music, or at least do something in the music industry for like my life. That's my number one priority. And it's definitely led to some turmoil in, you know, personal relationships or romantic relationships. Definitely suffered in school sometimes, you know. It's all about trying to find that balance where I can, you know, make my parents happy, but also make me happy.
Yes, I go through the same thing. So that's pretty cool, man. So now there's just like an off-topic question, you know, do you have any crazy thoughts about the universe or ideas? You know, I know your label's M31.
Yeah, I have a lot of appreciation for the universe. It's pretty crazy. I think one of my favorite things to think about is less cosmic, more so just about like the way you put energy in and it comes back around, you know what I mean? That's something that I've also learned is doing music is just like, whatever you're putting out into the world, you know, whether it's trying to be positive or it's like being a giving person or just whatever you're giving the world somehow finds its way back to you. And that's always like amazed me, especially as I've seen it like unfold in my eyes, because there's been some crazy things happen to me that I don't think I necessarily deserved, but I'll take the good karma while it's coming. You know what I mean?
Anything you would like to share?
In terms of like my stuff
come back for you, you know, like you saw it ripple towards you back.
Oh yeah. Well, most recently, you know, I started my project Techno Los Angeles like maybe a year and a half ago, and you know, at first it wasn't anything. I didn't expect it to go like crazy. I just wanted to, you know, give something to the community. My real goal was just to like help put on the Los Angeles scene in techno and help it grow. Whether it's, you know, being able to bring my friends on to try to get them onto the same level as other people who are already popping. Yeah. And also to the point where I want to help establish Los Angeles as more of like a techno haven, you know? Because I mean, we definitely have a great scene, but you know, in terms of the global thing, I don't think we have nearly as much respect as we deserve. Like, we're pretty popping down here, but yeah, that's always been my goal. So I mean, after doing that, I've had a lot of people. I've been able to meet a lot of people and connect with a lot of people who I don't think I ever really would have been able to without that. Okay. You know, like people from like huge labels that I'm a big fan of.
That's so cool.
You know, and it's only gonna keep going. I can tell already.
Cool. All right. So what do you have going on right now? What's next for you? What are you creating?
Well, I try to stay busy. Like I said, I have problems sticking in one place. But right now, I just had my first single under Mod 618, my techno thing, come out. That's gonna be out on M31. We have it on our SoundCloud. We got a bunch of other tracks from really dope artists as well. And then I also have my first original single coming out on Slightly Sizzled Records. Shout out to Cricked. So that's gonna be coming out soon. That one's called Ecstasy. And other than that, nothing set, nothing that I can speak up about yet, but keep your eyes peeled.
Nice. Okay. So in case you're wondering, the tracks they're playing in the background are No Love and Ecstasy by DXXP. All right, Julian, so can you share with us where people can reach you out to you, listen to your content, Instagram, all that good stuff?
So you can always find my personal stuff, my music on my SoundCloud. That's just soundcloud.com/GoDeep, GODXXP. If you're looking to follow my label, M31, that's going to be SoundCloud/M31 Recordings. And Instagram's going to be DXXP Official. There you can kind of keep a little bit more posted with the day-to-day and anything coming up soon, or like my shows, stuff like that. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. I got so much going on, like so many plugs to link. I could give you a list of like 10 to 20 links, but that covers the gist of it.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you for coming out and take us on a drift across the universe, buddy.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Get shape, Lustwerk, 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 get shape, Lustwerk.
I'm sure some of you are familiar with this spoken word, somewhat sung ditty. I'm sure some of you are familiar with this spoken word, somewhat sung ditty.
I just couldn't wait to do this. Excuse me, I've just got out of bed. I've just got out of bed. I just couldn't wait to do this.
to make me laugh and nothing has to change today. You didn't mean to say I love you.
I'm saying? So go ahead and ask. Voy a pegar mucho de judear. Te damos
Reboot.